Yo, Joe, talking comics. Here's your host. It's a real American Brian.
All right, let's get back into some more G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. Issue number 42. Mike Zeck is giving us a cover image of Storm Shadow about to strike down a mystery foe. Ties That Bind, written by Larry Hama, pencils by Rod Wiggum. The Joes arrive back at McGuire Air Force Base after the fight on Cobra Island. Scarlet tells Hawk he needs to tell Ripcord what happened before he hears it from the other Joes. Hawk lets Ripcord know that Buzzer escaped and took Candy with him. When a message from General Austin interrupts them, the brass are upset with a failure on Cobra Island, and as Austin is reading Hawk the riot act, he suddenly has a heart attack. Candy is pleading with Buzzer in the stolen bus to let her go. Buzzer has escaped and knows the location of the G.I. Joe base. He isn't letting her go anywhere. Her G.I. Joe boyfriend probably thinks she's a Cobra agent anyway. In Storm Shadow's water tower, Billy's ninja training continues. He is learning a lot and impressing Storm Shadow. The Crimson Guardsman Fred, too, is still sick after falling off the ferry into the water. He gets into it with the Cobra-assigned wife and heads out of the house. Hawk is headed to D.C. to be by General Austin's side. Stalker and Snake Eyes are going to drive him in the Vamp. Gung Ho and Roadblock attempt to cheer up Ripcord, but he just wants to sit in his sadness and let it wear off naturally. Soft Master is hitchhiking and gets picked up by a friendly guy full of jokes and coffee laced with brandy. Buzzer ditches the bus and finds a truck to steal. The owner of the truck threatens him and Buzzer runs him down. Candy attempts an escape, but Buzzer isn't letting her go. Storm Shadow continues teaching Billy, telling him he has the heart of a master within him. But Billy doesn't fear the death that could come from Storm Shadow's blade because he knows that Storm Shadow wouldn't harm him. Storm Shadow tells Billy about the Hardmaster's murder, telling him that the Hardmaster's greatest weakness was his compassion, but it was also his greatest strength. Billy tells him that someday he is going to confront his father, Cobra Commander, and when he does, he will find out who killed the Hardmaster. Stalker is driving Hawk and the Vamp to D.C., and Fred happens to spot them. He follows them, attempting to get back on the good side of Cobra. He puts a tracer on the Vamp in case he can't keep up with them. Stalker notices the car following them, but Fred pulls off into a side street. He tunes in the microphone on the tracer to hear what they are saying in the Vamp. Stalker and Snake Eyes are going to the Vietnam Memorial, while Hawk is busy in the hospital with General Austin. The Soft Master asks to be let off on the corner. They have made it to Springfield, where he tells the driver he is just stopping to take care of some old family business as he heads into the police station. Candy is still arguing with Buzzer and attempts to jump out of the moving truck, but Buzzer grabs her, drags her back into the truck, and smacks her. He tells her she is stuck with him and they might as well make the most of it. Hawk is told Austin won't be allowed visitors for 4 hours. He sends the other two Joes on their way to the memorial. Fred suspects they are up to something and thinks he recognizes Stalker from somewhere. Apparently, Cobra got Fred too a personalized plate for his car. Master rolls into the police station and tells them he needs to use their computer. There is some important information in the database on his family business. The police officers don't like his pushy actions and all begin to threaten him. He tells them if they persist, this will hurt. Buzzer, speeding through a construction zone, hits a bump and the glove box opens up, spilling shotgun shells. Candy grabs the shotgun off of the gun rack, smashes Buzzer across the face, and begins loading a shell. She fires the weapon and blows a hole through the driver's side window. Stalker and Snake Eyes make it to the memorial, overcome with how big it is and how many names there are. They are told about the directory and they head off to find the names they are looking for. Back in the Springfield police station, we see that the Soft Master has cleaned house. There is one police officer left standing. He attempts to shoot the Soft Master with his final bullet, but the Soft Master dodges out of the way and disarms him. He hands him a card and says he wants everything in the database referencing this name, Hardmaster. It hit Buzzer, but scared him enough that she gets him out of the truck and leaves him behind as she takes off in the truck. Stalker is reflecting on their LRRP unit in Vietnam as Snake Eyes looks for the names. They remember Ramon, Dick, and Wade Collins, who didn't make it home. Snake Eyes begins pointing to the list and Stalker sees what he's pointing at. Wade Collins' name is missing. Fred steps out and says, yes, Wade Collins is alive. Cobra gave him a new face, new name, and a new life. Storm Shadow returns to the water tower and finds a note from Billy. He has left and is going back to confront his father. Another great issue of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Having capped off the adventure on Cobra Island for now, this issue gives us some new plot threads to follow as it sets up some future stories. Wade Collins is alive and has a gun on Stalker. Billy is headed back to face off with Cobra Commander. Softmaster sticking his nose in things in Springfield. Candy is driving somewhere. A lot to figure out. My favorite this one is the Wade Collins reveal. Stalker and Snake Eyes taking us back to their Vietnam unit, and suddenly Fred 2 reveals he is Wade Collins. We have a lot of questions to answer there. This was a good issue of G.I. Joe, some great narrative here, setting up a lot for the next few issues. I'm going to give it 4 flag points. But that is issue 42. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next issue.
You've been watching a Real American Brian production in association with the letters G, I, and JOE.